Welcome to our team call. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Our topic today will be monthly marketing, our fourth quarter. Can you believe that we are in the fourth quarter of the year? This year has just flown by. So the way that I see it is that I like to kind of look forward, look ahead as to these next few months, strategize, think about kind of the season that we're heading into. So we are bringing this information to you all, to all of us here as a team, so that we can plan accordingly, right? So thank you all for being on. Susan, I guess she'll be back here soon. I want us to think about our business in terms of seasons. And most of us, not all of us, but most of us have been here long enough where we can kind of take a look back and project back maybe to the previous year as to what was going on around this time of year, right? So, for example, I know that at the beginning of the summer, a few months prior, we had a very specific team call about how to plan for the summer and how, people get distracted, people go on vacation, and we shared a few tips and ideas. Team Eagle has also, put in a few, well, not just Team Eagle, but Beachbody. They are very purposeful in terms of when they put out certain products, Shaun T Week, the hard labor week, summit. Like they're very intentional in terms of when they come out with certain things. The Team Cup was recently. So they, again, those marketing strategies are there during that particular time of year for a reason. So as entrepreneurs, as business owners, I really want us all to make sure that we're in this mindset of planning ahead, and maybe strategizing, thinking back to, or not even if you're a brand new coach, think about what time of year this is and what are we heading into. So for example, this is back to school, right? Just a few weeks ago, there were people that were still on vacation and taking pictures from the beach. And this Labor Day, people were taking advantage of the fact that this is like the last, hurrah before summer ends and all of that stuff. So as an entrepreneur, you have to really kind of retrain your mind to think about, okay, and think ahead really as to, okay, let me plan out my month, and even looking into the next 2 to 3 months, because we are going into a different season, a new season in your business, a new season in general, with the holidays coming, with the fall coming, lots of changes, right? And this is something that's constant, right? There's constant seasons in your business and just life in general. So a lot of you might have seen maybe a dip in your volume, and again, it just kind of goes up and down. It's in dips. And this is a very interesting conversation that I was having with my husband just the other day, that, yeah, the summer was kind of a dip down, but right now we're actually about to start climbing up out of that dip. Why? Most of us are parents. So a lot of people either were off for the summer, their kids are back to school. So that whole rush of getting them ready and paying for, parochial schools and the uniforms that's kind of already, that's been done. That's been, dealt with, and that's about to pass. So right now, especially now that we're going into kind of the colder months, people are going to be home more. There's going to be a lot more activities where maybe they're not going out as much as they were during the summer. I think that also a lot of people went crazy while they were on vacation and we're drinking the margaritas and I can't begin to tell you how many posts that I saw of girls that were like, oh, well, this is my summer body, like, F it, like F the diet or whatever, because this is me and this is it. And it's, it's done with, right? I saw lots of posts like that. So it's a lot of partying, a lot of celebration. So my experience has been that around this time, business will pick up. Okay. We have to market that. We have to strategize that. We have to really put ourselves in the shoes of our clients, of our target population. Maybe for some of you, you're not necessarily targeting back to school, but I am. So whatever your niche is, you have to be really connected to their patterns, their behaviors. What are they doing? I think honestly, for everybody in general, it doesn't matter if you're a mom with kids going back to school. I think that this is going to be kind of an up period, and people are going to start saving their money for the holidays. They're going to want to look nice in their holiday outfits. They're going to be home more. So this is a perfect opportunity to really target that, right? I think that when I'm talking to Rosano, I was looking back, and I always check my volume as well. And I always check my income to see, from the previous year, what were my good months, what was happening back then, compared to now. So, we're going to have kind of this up period, and then it's going to peak in January. Okay. So December's a little bit tricky. So for December, and for you're gonna have to really hit it really, really hard to have a really strong pipeline and get those people signed up beginning of December, right? Because towards the end, people again are going to oh, it's Christmas time, it's New Year's. You can still hit your numbers. I've hit my numbers every single month. You can still do it, but I just want you to keep all this stuff in mind, right? Because people are going to kind of disconnect just a little bit. However, they got funds. People are saving up for Christmas. And what I target is, and I know that I'm talking 2-3 months ahead of time, guys, but we have to think of it that way. I target moms and women who can maybe, request this as a Christmas gift or whatever. So whatever your strategy is, I just want you to start thinking about your people, your audience. What are they into? What are they going to, what's going to be appealing to them? January is going to peak. Again, remember, January is everybody wants to get fit for the new year, right? But before then, I want us to have a good plan now moving forward, so that those months in December won't be tough for us, because we're going to have such a strong pipeline going into that month and into November. I don't feel like November's tough. I think that December is the one that might get a little bit kind of towards the middle end, might get a little bit tougher. For me personally, I don't feel like September, October, and November are tough months. I think that we're going to see business picking up those 3 months. That's just been my experience from last year. And then January is the peak. So, just look at it as September, it's just kind of climbing up, November, December, and then January. I'm telling you, that's how it's going to happen. So now is the time. Build a super strong pipeline. Get yourselves organized. So the reason why we wanted to bring this particular call to you is because we create team calendars. I know there's a lot of information on our team page, but we are working very, very hard as a team to really become as structured as possible every single month, to lay it out for you so that you don't have to figure it out. And a lot of it we pull from our upline, and I know Team Eagle kind of is the bigger, team, and they do their thing. So we really do our best to just kind of combine all of that on one calendar for our team. Okay, so we're basically making it simple for you to have a marketing plan, for you to have a strategy going into the month, right? You just have to follow it. So we decided to have this call to make sure that we're kind of taking it back to basics, to the foundation, just to make sure that we all have a really good understanding as to how to follow this calendar and how to plan your month accordingly. Okay, so this is, I know we're kind of taking it back here a little bit, but for the month of September, and this is going to be ongoing, we are doing our best unless something crazy happens. And, you know, sometimes there has to be changes made to the calendar. We will do our best to change that accordingly. But for the most part, the dates are going to be kept the same in terms of business opportunities, you know, sneak peeks, challenge group starting, free group starting. Those particular dates really should be kept more or less the same. You know, I know that for like for the detox group, that a few of us have a detox group going on this particular week, I decided to personally start it on Tuesday because Monday was Labor Day, you know, but typically you would want to start it on a Monday. So that's what I mean about sometimes you have to make changes according to what's happening that month. Like December is another month, November, where we have Thanksgiving, you know, we have holidays, we have to kind of take that into account. So, you know, moving forward, we're definitely, you know, we'll do that. And always just make sure that if you're unclear about something, you have to speak to your sponsoring coach. Go to your sponsoring coach. For the most part, if you have a team, you're leading a team, it doesn't matter what rank you're at, that doesn't make a difference. If you're leading a few people and they are, you know, under you and your team, you have a team. So if that's you, then do your best to run these groups on your own, okay? By yourself, just throw yourself out there. We do have on the team page, we always have templates out there for you to follow, like guidelines for free groups and stuff like that. So you're technically, you're not really running it like just for like willy-nilly. Like you always have something. A lot of times I put people in my groups, and I know Tony and some of us do, where, you know, I provide that to my downline so that they can kind of mimic me in a sense, or if they need guidance, you know. So you're never alone at this. However, if you have a team, I think it's okay for you to run these groups on your own. All right. Because you always have to think of it as you are duplicating. You want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you tell your team, hey, I'm inviting you to this, but I'm inviting you to this because I want you to kind of help me. And at some point I want you to run these on your own. Right. So remember, because we're in the business of, we want to build people that are self-led. Right. So with that said, since it's just a few of us, you guys have questions so far, or we're good? Okay. So this is where the September, you know, for September, we have to really start looking at the end of the month. So moving forward, end of September, we need to start putting in the work. End of September, that last week, you really have to have your October planned out. That's what I say. Just have it planned out, have a sense of when you're going to start these groups. Another piece of this is that I get that we're all kind of, you know, we work differently. Like some of us can, you know, maybe sign up people quicker than others or whatever. We're kind of at different, you know, levels, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that our newer coaches coming in have some kind of structure, because I think that a lot of times we just start groups like whenever, like we just don't have a date. I know that I'm totally guilty of that. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna start a group, you know. But I myself want to be a lot more mindful about that, because it can be confusing to people if like one day you're like, join my free group, and then the next day you're like, join my challenge group. Like it's just confusing. So we have to be very mindful about that, and then we have to also show our downline how to go about that as well. That's why I always say that for like a new coach, you know, just have them under your wing for at least a month, you know, and kind of, and I'm giving it a time frame, but you know, sometimes it might take somebody a little bit longer. Okay. So that's okay. Because again, you're kind of modeling that for them. So this is the calendar. Okay. So I know today is the 5th. Oh my God, this is so small. And even with my glasses, how do I make this bigger? And you know what? I couldn't figure out. I think that it's because I was just kind of putting this together. I couldn't figure out how to make this into a slide and how to save this, but I honestly didn't really even try. Yeah, I didn't even try to save this. I should have just saved this to my, okay. All right, so I can't see this too well, but Wednesday it's a team. This is our call, Team Warrior call. So you see here how the calendar, and this is how the calendar is going to look like moving forward. Okay, so promoting upcoming group, and I don't know if anybody else does this different. I like the idea of my free group being at the beginning of the month. I feel like some coaches do it at the end of the month. It's really going to depend. For me personally, my people, I don't know why, they close at the end of the month. As much as I tried so hard to aim to hit Success Club early on, and I still aim for it, trust me. Like I still work really hard to hit it at least 5, because these are the guidelines here, and I like to follow this myself. But a lot of people, my people tend to close middle, end of the month. So this kind of works for me, where I get them into the free group that first week of the month. And then, we're forming them, and that can be probably a whole other call. I think Tony's going to talk a little bit about free groups here in one of the slides, but this, the calendar is really laid out. Like it's telling you when you should start promoting. So promoting upcoming group, on the Sunday, on the Monday, actually the Sunday should be the last day. So the week prior here is when we're promoting the group. I promote, I want to say about 3 to 4 days prior, or the week prior to a group is when I start to promote. Okay. So if you know that your free group typically, will start on a Monday, then this week here, you should already start promoting that free group on all your social media platforms. Okay. So then the free group is this month. So I see, since my free group already started, I've already put out an invite for my challenge group. So I'm already sending private invites. I just started this today. I'm sending private invites for my challenge group to start on the Monday. Okay. Here, I mean, that's me. I think that what a lot of coaches do is that they use this week to still kind of talk to prospects and then sign them up and get them ready so that they can start the group on the 18th. All right. Maybe I should follow this. But my challenge group is already, I put it out for the 11th. That's just me, because I like running 2 a month. So I'm going to promote one for the 11th and then one for the 25th. But we're teaching you kind of a little bit of a different system that I think is going to work. And you know why this is going to work? Because I'm just going to put it out there. A lot of us are still struggling to hit Success Club. And I think that this is a good way of making sure that you're really, you're forming your people, you're kind of pushing them through the pipeline to get them started to start the challenge group on the 18th. And then we're going to talk to you a little bit about that in between week as well. Right. So, I mean, this is really self-explanatory. I mean, this is a really good calendar. The coach sneak peek. Okay, so in terms of the challenge group, this is when we're going to start. Like I would start like around here, right? Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but for the challenge group, we want to start promoting it. I would say once the sneak peek is already, the free group is already in play, we start to promote the challenge group. Right?
Yeah. So it's there for the Thursdays, basically Sunday and Thursday is like the 2 buffer dates for those invites. And when we're saying like the promotion for the upcoming groups on a Sundays, if you're running ads, that's a whole other topic, but that's a good time to bounce it off. Usually I would say two weeks is the very, very start of it, because in terms of promotion for the whatever thing is happening. And I can tell you a little bit later on why that seemed to work well, especially for the free group. Mm-hmm. Or any group really.
Right.
It buys you some time because you'll have that week that's the load-in week. And I actually loaded people into the group 1 week prior to it starting. And it just built the momentum and the excitement, and people started to get themselves together and started posting way ahead of time. So they kind of got the feel of like a 2-week thing happening. So.
Well, I think that I think that that's great because, yeah, like you said, like it kind of gives people, because that's typically how long it takes for people to sign up anyway. Most people don't sign up right away, you know,
Right.
so having them in the free group here, right, and making sure that we're running a really good free group, like going live, and that's a whole other thing that we can go and talk about. But just make sure that you're very interactive, that you're forming your prospects all the way through. You know, if you're running a really good free group, towards the end of it, you will be promoting your challenge group. And, you know, I want to talk a little bit about that as well, like the different options, because I know that a lot of us are just kind of focused on challenge packs, but there's a lot of different other, you know, ways that you can go with this. And just for all of you to understand that we're giving you a guideline. You know, I mean, obviously it's not going to be black and white, right? But we're giving you a guideline, and this works. This system here does work. So then, you know, getting them through this pipeline here, right? So the promotion, the promoting on Thursday and Sunday is because those are peak days. That's why Tony mentioned that. You know, Friday afternoon, you can promote if it's like a coach app. Saturday and Sunday, Saturdays, people are just not connected like that. You know, it's more about family or whatever. And that's what you want to post about anyway in your fun weekend. And then Sunday during the day, you're also, you know, having fun, your family, you're disconnected. And then Sunday evening is another prime time to actually put out an invite. So that's another thing, that you have to really be connected to your audience and get to understand your prime times for your people, in terms of posting invites and when you can, you know, you get the most interaction. So, okay, so this is, I'm not sure that I can talk more about this calendar here. I think that we touched up on everything. And this is the pipeline right here. It's just kind of getting your people through the pipeline. That's basically what you're doing, moving them along. And we're going to talk a little bit about some ways that you can do that. Is there anything you wanted to say about the calendar, Tony?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. So you want to take this?
Sure. So like a lot of the influence for this call came from the National Wake Up Call from Jessica Vanderby, Jennifer. I'm sorry if
I'm so terrible with names.
but yeah, she just like let us know that there needs to be a stage that's set and this rhythm that's happening from this calendar. And also to really think about it from the perspective of meeting people where they're at. So coming away from thinking about the end goal as only being the challenge pack, right? So the way to start that is, like we mentioned, is the I'm trying to click it. The free group. And hold up, before we get to that, the courage to ask people what it is that they actually need, so we can figure out where they can really go. They feel that you honestly care about them and that you are trying to help them, and they're gonna get the opportunity to see you as a person and as a coach, know you, like you, and trust you. So those are some of the things that you want to ask them. What are their struggles, nutrition-wise? Do you know, here's some samples of things that you would ask. Do you feel like you overeat or undereat? What's your schedule like? And then get feedback. Lately, I have been asking questions in a way that begs people to ask me a question. So, you know, if you key back into those calls and like the way that Jatana Jackson and I forget the pink-haired girl, how she will form people or just have an initial conversation with them, it begs people to ask you, well, what is that thing that you're a part of? I've been doing that quite a lot lately, where it's just saying hello, how are you, and just having a normal convo. And I think the easiest way, or I don't know if I want to say the easiest way, but one of the more comfortable ways for especially a newer coach, any coach, to invite somebody to the end goal, which is a challenge pack or something that costs money, is the free group, and then the next stepping stone up. So just backtracking it again. some more samples of questions to meet people's needs. You know, we're asking uh, likes, dislikes. Do you hate to dance? Do you love it? Things like that. And then the real part, the pain point that we like to talk about is the vision behind all of this. Why do you really want to lose weight? You know, it tends not to be just the surface level. I want to fit into a bikini or look nice in my bikini. And, you know, hopefully you can build that rapport with the person you're talking to so that you can get down to that.
So Tony, okay, so I just want to make sure that everybody understands. So these are really great. These are great questions. So the idea of this is that when you have them in that free group, remember, you're still forming them, because what's happening is that people are not, for the most part, they're not signing up right away, right? And that's because it's natural. They need to learn to trust you. They need to kind of get used to the whole sense of being part of a group. For a lot of people, this is new to them. They don't know what it is to post, or, you know, to like, oh, I gotta take a picture of my food. Like, we can't assume that they get that just because they say yes to your free group. So this whole concept of asking all these questions, this is the whole forming piece of it, where you really want to get to know them. You want to ask questions. That helps build trust. Then that's going to help you in terms of, where can I guide this person? You know, maybe a challenge group is not the right thing, or maybe, you know, maybe a challenge pack, you know, whatever it is. Like, I know that I can safely say that I was one that I wanted to sign everybody up with a challenge pack. Like, and if you didn't want a challenge pack, then I was not having anything to do with you. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was me, because because I was so focused on, okay, this is the complete, like, the challenge pack provides you with everything. But then as time passed, and my mindset kind of started to change a little bit, because I realized, you know what, there's a lot of people out there that still need more time, that still need, you know, maybe there are people that, and I think it was Tony who mentioned to me, there really are people who don't have $160, $180 to invest. I have somebody like that right now, who she's still messaging me. She wants to be so desperately part of my group. I put her in my free group, but she really doesn't have the $180 like right now. But I know in my heart that she wants to do this, because she's still messaging me like, Denise, like, you know, and she's in my free group, and she's telling me why she's not posting in the free group, because her sister's in labor. Like, I'm like, okay, I know that this is someone who's going to sign up with me at some point. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start kind of thinking outside the box, and just, you know, so these questions are going to help you better guide these people, and again, just kind of build that trust, right? So
Totally. Yeah. So
I really like this flow. So do you want to take some of it, and then I can go ahead and take some? We can do that.
Sure. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what we were talking about. Just the flow of it, the stages that a person would go into first, or the first thing that you would invite somebody to. And, you know, building a solid free group where they're getting to see you. And we suggest to do it kind of short, 5 to 7 days. I've done longer before, and I've definitely learned my lessons. The shorter groups work best for me. And you also have to practice it too, because your first few groups are not going to be the bomb straight away. You're going to go live in there, like we said. And then that next stepping stone, just in case. So you get to, even before midway, maybe even the second day of your free group, and you are going to pose a question. In fact, I have a question that's scheduled to go inside of my free group this evening, and I'll see what people say. And the sample is like, hey, you guys are doing awesome. And I just asked the question, I said, how are you guys enjoying the accountability that's happening in here? How would you feel about one-on-one accountability from me? ? That's it. We'll see if people say something, if they comment, if they like. Those are people who I'm going to message behind the scenes and tell them a little bit more information about the actual challenge group and what that offers. And but if they say they're not quite ready just yet, here's the concept that we haven't really been implementing. Well, I have not been implementing since I've been around, which is doubling them back to the first step with this little in between. So you can suggest the Shakeology sampler so that they can try it and get a taste of what it is that quite literally the taste of Shakeology, and get our amazing products in their hands, and then still keep them inside of the free group if they're not ready to make that shift over to the real deal, the individualized care that happens in the challenge group.
I definitely like that idea, and I have not implemented this, but I will. I plan on it. Actually, with this group now that we're running, the whole in between Shakeology sampler week, and you can go so many different ways with this team. Like you could even implement, the free trial for the BOD with this. I mean, coaches do this. It's just so many different ways that you can go with this. But I like the idea of giving people options, but not too many either. So, you make your recommendations according to if you did a really good job at getting to know them, informing them, and asking all those questions, you make a recommendation. And team, I advise for you to use that word, because remember that you're the expert here. You're the one, they're coming to you because what they're doing isn't working and they need help. So don't be afraid to say, I recommend that you do this. From what you told me, this is my recommendation. And then, get a feel for where they're at. If they're, I like to use, I recommend that you join my more intensive group. That's what I call it, my more intensive group, which is my challenge group. And this is what it entails, right? And if they're still kind of like, oh, I don't know, like be upfront about it. Hey, what are your thoughts? Do you feel like you're ready for that? What's your hesitation? Because a lot of times I think that you will know if someone is kind of on the fence, like you will. But I think that some of us maybe kind of say, oh, okay, no problem. Have a great day. And then others will kind of like be like, okay, well, what's getting in the way from a scale of 1 to 5, where are you and how can I get you to a 5? Like ask those types of questions where they'll say, well, I really can't afford it. Because sometimes people are like embarrassed too, to like say, I can't do it. I can't afford it. And what they'll do is they'll just not respond, So be okay to have those hard conversations. I know that's hard for us, but you got to get past it. And then this in between, that can be a totally separate group, like however you choose to do it. Or I think Tony mentioned something about converting your free group, right? Maybe keeping those people in there. Can you talk a little bit more about that idea?
Yeah. The same girl, Vanderbeek, and also Katie Ersta is another one who I've been paying attention to.
Yeah, she's good.
The free group. She will keep the free group as the holding place for these people. So it will convert to a Shakeology sampler for those people who made that leap. They'll be in there still sharing their shakes. However, this is only going to happen once a month. So it's still your free group that's happening next month, if that makes sense. But the free group will be open, but I won't be posting in there. We won't be posting our accountability, but maybe hopefully they will be saying stuff to each other on the side, and keeping it alive. The other thing is that when you have your group page not open, but it's visible for people to see it, others can see that this group exists. They can see who's in it, but they can't see the posts. And I've actually been getting a lot of people that I don't even freaking know just trying to add themselves to the group.
Yeah.
So, that's a really good thing to have. I think, I know some coaches do away with the group altogether. I don't think I'm going to do that. I know that I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it like this so that hype can be there still, and
right.
It can take longer to see me and come around, because it definitely happens.
So this here's the progression then, okay? So free group, the in between, and that's going to really go according to what you feel, you know, if this is the route that you want to go. I definitely want to do this. I've never done a 7-day sampler group, but I want to because I have tons of people that I've talked to that have just not signed up with me just yet. So they need more time. And we have to understand that that's okay and let them know that it's okay. And then the progression would be, we definitely want to get them into our challenge group. And then, I mean, that's a whole other topic too. Is like the challenge group is just kind of identifying those rock stars, those people in your challenge group, making sure that we're converting challengers to coaches. And the way that we do that is by exposing them to the coaching opportunity, which we have 2 of those a month. Because I'm part of one where I do it with my upline, Salvi, and there's a few of us that we do ours. It's going to be pretty much the same day every month. We have one next Thursday. And then Tony and I think Tanya, I'm not sure, we were going to be doing also our team 3-day sneak peek, right? We're going to continue those. We had one last month and it was pretty successful. And we're going to have one this month. I'm not sure if did I see it on the calendar?
Yeah, the 25th.
Okay, the 25th. So that's perfect because those are actually like almost 2 weeks apart. So you have opportunities to invite your challengers to a coaching opportunity webinar. Okay, so there's plenty of opportunities to expose them. And there's a lot of different ways of doing that as well. Okay, so with that said, and I know that we've been touching up on this, I want us to be a lot more mindful of the fact that there's so many other products on our website. Okay, so I really encourage us to try as many as we possibly can, just so that we're able to talk to our clients from a standpoint of that we know what we're talking about as much as possible. I mean, it might not be possible to try everything. But I want us to always keep this in mind. And this was, this actually I got from today's call, from that call, what's her name? Milan Jensen, where she says, and I'm guilty of this, where I would, like if I came across someone who was doing CrossFit or who was already fit and, you know, maybe didn't have a whole lot of weight loss, I would kind of like pull away from that particular prospect, you know, like I wouldn't really dig deeper. So I need to change that. And what all of us need to do is, again, even with those people that we feel like, oh, they might not need this, I don't know, they're doing CrossFit, they've kind of brushed me off, like we can still dig with them. Oh, how's that going? You know, how's your nutrition going? And maybe there's something else on the website that'll be good for them. Maybe it's not necessarily, you know, doing BOD or whatever it is, you know, but I just want us to be a lot more aware of all of the other products that we have available, and not to shy away from someone just because maybe they're not necessarily ready for a challenge pack, because a lot of times we can kind of segue people into that challenge pack, right? By introducing them just to the community. However, we need to do that. So that's what I mean by kind of thinking out the box. So however we need to expose them, you know, whether it's the free group, the 7-day sampler group, you know, kind of moving them along. If they're not ready, we need to get creative with that and come up with ideas. Like I would love to get ideas from you guys, like all of us, like we should be coming in here just kind of brainstorming, because I haven't tried it all. I really haven't. Like, and the beauty of this business is that it's our business and we can try different things. And if it doesn't work, then F it. It doesn't work and we try something else. Like, you know, as long as we're constantly trying to do something different, like even not necessarily different. If it works, keep doing it. But if it doesn't work, let's do something different, right? That's what I'm for. If it doesn't work, what's that saying? If it's working, don't fix it or something. I don't know, something about fixing something. If it's working, then you don't have to fix it. But if it's not working, then we got to try and figure it out, right? But again, just get yourselves familiar with the products as much as possible. And we have to really look at volume, because this helps with volume. And right now, you know, the summer was really bad in terms of team volume. So you have to understand that you using products then having your people use the products, even if you have to run like maybe a little mini challenge inside of your challenge group, that's going to increase volume. Okay, so I know that historically we are a Success Club driven business. Beachbody's just kind of, with Success Starters, and you get free tickets for Success Club. And yes, of course we want to meet Success Club, but at the same time, don't forget about volume, because at Emerald and above, that's where you see the income, right? And the higher that you rank up, the more that volume is going to be worth more in terms of dollars, so get to understand that compensation piece of it and really, really focus on driving volume. And the way that we do that, we use the products, teach our people to use the products as well. All the derm stuff, I'm going to show you my closet right now. That's my facial products. I use all, and I'm not saying that just because I'm not going to compromise my face. This is my thing here. I really like their products. Like, I took their products to my facial lady, and she was like, yo, that's some good stuff. Like, keep using it. And my facial people have their own products, which, she pushes some of it on me, but so anyway, I use their line of products because I truly have benefited from them, and I promote it. And I've even gone, I got to do it more, but I've put it on my IG stories. I promote it in my challenge group. I talk about the face because I have people coming to me all the time asking me what kind of facial products I use. So anyway, that's what I mean by volume, is making sure that we're using the products, we're using the different products, and then we're also teaching our teams and our downline to do the same. All right, so the last slide. I like this. I just kind of threw this in here, Tony. We want to leave you all just kind of thinking about, where are you here in this little model? And this is your comfort zone right here, which is 98% of the population stays within their comfort zone. Isn't that crazy? Playing it safe. I mean, it's easy. It's easy just to be kind of in that circle, right? Getting on team calls is hard. It's still hard for me. It's hard. Creating a slide. Tony worked on it, and it's hard. Sometimes, I just rather be in front of the television watching trash TV. Not that I rather, but, I like to be on with my team. But, sometimes it's just easy to just fall into that comfort zone in every aspect of your life, right? It's just easy to be there. However, I know that I'm not in this 98%. I don't want to be there. And if I fall into it, sometimes I do, I try to pull myself out of it quickly, right? So, think to yourself, where are you? Going for your dreams, confidence, exploring new things, choosing happiness. This is beautiful. I love this model. I'm going to post it on the team page. Embracing the unknown, doing things that scare you, that we just, kind of taking a chance. Change, I know change is scary, but I know it sounds weird, but I've kind of learned to like change. Even though you would have never in a million years heard me, I would have never said that 3-4 years ago. Seriously. But now I'm kind of like, it's kind of cool. So I'm even trying to get my kids excited about school. My daughter's like, oh my God, I'm in the 6th grade. And I'm like, no, honey, it's kind of exciting. You're going to a brand new school. Yay. Right, Mila? She's right here. Anyway, so that's it for tonight. Oh, that's it. That's the last slide. I wish I would have made this bigger, but we can see it. Let me stop share. So do we have any questions? Susan, Tony, anything you guys want to add? If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. That's right, Susan. That's it. You don't got a flat tire, you don't got to try and fix the tire. I don't know. I'm just trying to make stuff up. How you doing, Susan? I want to hear from you. I'll stop recording.